And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Jets episode. Yes, everybody's excited. The Jets. So, since I don't have anything else to say, Drew, who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Don Maynard, the receiver. Maynard, yeah.
Maynard.
Oh.
He is my number 3.
He's my number 3.
He's my number 2.
Oh. He's my number 2.
Okay.
It's unanimous. Drew's number 4 is unanimous.
All right, good Drew.
I got a guy on the list.
Write him down.
Well, that's a first.
That's pretty nice.
Right. We've been close a couple times, but Wade to screw that up. He'd be like, no, I don't have him.
Fuck Kenny Anderson, Boomer Esiason, and all that bullshit.
And Chris Carter, you really didn't
Yeah, I
like
fucked Chris Carter.
Yeah.
Hey, it was for John Randall, okay?
Well, but you sat here and argued for Randy Moss for 20
And you
minutes.
didn't put him on your list.
Have him on your list.
Because he's better than Chris Carter. So I'm not putting Chris Carter on my fucking list if Randy Moss is better.
Oh, man. We can't rehash all this. Well, would you like to have anything to say about old Maynard?
Yeah, Don Maynard.
He was also a receiver?
Yeah, indeed.
I mean, he was the receiver for Joe Namath when they won their Super Bowl ring. He has a ring, 4-time Pro Bowl, 4-time All-Pro. He's got 11,800 yards, 88 touchdowns. Pretty good receiver for back in the day to have over 10,000 yards. I mean, nowadays when guys do that, that's accomplishment. You're getting close to Hall of Fame territory, I think, when the receivers get that high. So,
Well, I mean, that was what originally caught my attention. I was like, oh, this old of a receiver? You know, he retired in 73.
Yeah.
Say,
And he had 11,000 yards? Like, that's pretty impressive.
didn't he retire as the all-time leader in yards and receptions? Did anybody else read that?
Ooh, I don't know that I did.
I think
read
he
that.
passed. I think Raymond Berry had it in the late 60s, and I think Maynard passed him.
That may be.
I believe he retired as the all-time leader in yards, and maybe receptions as well. But I'm not 100% sure.
To get 11,000 yards back then was
That's
pretty
a lot.
impressive.
Because I think Raymond Berry had the record for a while, and he only had like 9,000 and some when he retired. So. But I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to look, but not had any luck yet.
He's currently 31st.
Oh, I know he's not the record holder now.
Oh, no.
Jerry Rice doubled that.
Here's what it said. Although he has never led the league in receiving for a season, at the time of his retirement, Maynard was one of only 5 players. Oh, never mind. Sorry. I thought I found it there. Oh, yes. And his 633 catches and 11,834 yards were both the pro records at the time.
All right.
Okay.
So you did have it right, Wade.
Yeah, good deal.
Yep. So he retired as the all-time leading receiver and in receptions. So
I mean, we're talking about, you said he had over 11,000 yards, right?
yeah, 11,000.
Almost 12,000.
Yeah,
So he had almost 12,000 in the 60s and 70s, where we talked about how hard it is for wide receivers back then. And we talked about Chad Johnson on the Bengals, and he had like barely over 11,000 yards, I believe.
Which with almost 12,000 yards and just a little over 600 receptions, his yards per catch is going to be not going to be 20, but it's going to be up there.
Yeah.
yards per catch. I'm looking for it here. Where you see it? Oh, 18.7.
Yeah,
That's pretty damn high.
Pretty good.
That's the second highest we've talked about. I think only Paul, he had 20.
Yeah, Paul Warfield had 20. But
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. 18.7 again in the mainly playing in the 60s.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's extremely impressive, to be honest. That's
so
pretty awesome.
he played his first year in 1958 with the Giants. Okay. But then he left the NFL and went and played in the Canadian Football League with the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Damn Tiger Cats.
Okay.
And then came back to the NFL to play with the Jets in 1960. So he was gone for a season in 59.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Could have
Yeah.
had 12,000 for those
And
Tiger Cats.
in 1968, he had almost right at 1,300 yards on an average of 22.8 yards per catch and 10 touchdowns.
He said 22 yards per catch.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good chunk average there.
Insane.
Yeah.
And how many games did he play that year?
13.
13.
So he had 1,300 yards in 13 games.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's pretty good.
22
Yeah.
yards per catch. That's nuts.
Wow.
Yep. Well, unanimous number 4. Who'd have thunk it? All right. Well, anybody else have anything on old Don Maynard?
No, I'm good.
Mm-mm.
I can't find any stats. Well, I guess there's a few here. But on his page, it lists him as receiver and halfback.
Oh.
But on here, it only has him down for 24 rushing attempts in his career. So, they're all spread out, like 2,
Right,
3,
like jet
1,
sweep
4,
kinda
1.
thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know why they would have him line up as a.
Maybe just lined up there in some goofy formation they like to run, but it was a pass play. I don't know. Could be
Yeah.
anything really.
He returned punts and kicks for a couple years of his career. He has no TDs, though. But his career kick return average or punt return average is 5. But his kick return average is 24. So, not terrible. All right, I'm done. All right, who's got a 4 left? Yeah, Wade, what you got?
I put Darrelle Revis as my number 4.
Oh, I do not have Revis.
I don't have Revis. I thought about it. It was tough, but
I have
didn't
Revis
quite make it.
number 2.
You have Revis at 2?
Yeah.
Yay!
Wow.
So your 4 was my 2, and my 4 is your 2.
I'm with you on Revis. I got a crazy stat about him.
Oh, he was nuts. I mean, the reason I put him on the list, I know he was only there for a limited amount of time, but 1, it's the Jets, so that's fine. And 2, I mean, he was undoubtedly the best corner in the league for quite a while.
Yeah, he was.
He was people literally didn't throw to his side of the field for a while for like years at a time. Like he would literally go games or only getting 1 or 2 attempts to his side of the field.
Well,
It was that
and
insane.
Unlike Richard Sherman, he could play either side.
He followed the best receiver.
Right, he
And you-
followed him.
And you didn't have to have the best safety in football play over top of him all the time.
Right.
2 Pro Bowl safeties.
Well,
Yeah.
he had that insane 2009 season. Darrell held these receivers under 35 yards. Andre Johnson, Chad Johnson, Randy Moss twice, Marquise Colston, T.O. twice, Torrey Holt, Steve Smith, and Reggie Wayne. He held all those receivers under 35 yards that season.
And that's how insane
Pretty
he was.
impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, Revis Island was a real thing.
It
And
was.
He led the NFL in pass deflections that year with 31. This is just a funny story. It really has nothing to do with Darrelle Revis all that much. But we used to do this thing at work for 2 years. If anybody walked by you carrying something, we would try and slap it out of your hand, and if you succeeded, you would just yell "Revis Island" and then just keep walking. We did this for 2 whole years, and the whole thing was you just yelled "Revis Island" and walked away.
Revis Island. Oh, man.
We just lost listeners because they think I'm a moron.
That's right. We've said a lot of dumb shit. A lot of dumb stuff.
Yes.
Not just you.
Yeah, some of our
Well,
best
who won Defensive Player of the Year in 2009? Because it wasn't Revis.
Oh, who knows? I'd have to look that up.
I'll Google it.
I can get it from right here.
All right.
Well, Peyton Manning won MVP.
Shocker.
No.
Shocker, man.
Alex, you can't.
Defensive Player of the Year was Charles Woodson.
Oh,
There you go. Big fan of Charles as well. Big
Yep.
fan. Real big fan. But yeah. Did you consider Revis, Alberta?
I looked at him. He was one of the guys I looked at for the list. I don't know. He probably, 5 or 6, somewhere in there.
Yeah, he was 5 or 6 on mine too.
He played 8 years with the Jets, so it's not like it was like.
He didn't really have a long career.
No, it wasn't. He played 11 years.
Yeah, that's really, yeah. And we're talking about, like, didn't Krause play, like, 18 years or something? Or, like, Woodson played, like, 19 or 20 or some crazy shit like that. Or yeah.
So someplace that I saw had Revis listed for a Super Bowl. Where did he go to get the Super Bowl?
I think
New England.
New England.
Oh,
Yeah.
he played for New England. Okay.
2014.
Yeah, 14 in New England.
He
yeah.
went and got one. He helped them. Because they kept spending money on defensive backs there for a while. They went and got, like, Akeem Talib and Revis, and they had the McCourty brothers in and out for a while.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
had,
there was another big one they had.
Gilmore came later.
Gilmore, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had
Chung?
then they had Chung was there, but he was a safety.
Yeah.
The one they just had, Jackson, they just had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he
they
was
let
Jackson.
him walk.
He went to San Diego.
Yeah.
We now have Gilmore. And then, yeah. But, they had, like, Revis for, like, just, like, a year or two, I think. And then he went somewhere else. And then they went and then, like, rented Akeem Talib for a year
That's
or two.
the only place Belichick seems to be able to, or to want to spend money, was he will go get a shutdown corner and pay them.
Yeah, because, even way back in the day when they first started winning, they had Ty Law, then they had Asante Samuel, and then it transitioned into all those other guys we just named. Like, they always have at least one great defensive back,
Yeah.
Yep.
if not a multitude of them. But, yeah, Revis was the man for a while.
He was.
And he could tackle. I know that sounds stupid, but some great corners don't tackle.
Dion.
Yeah. The best cover corner didn't tackle.
Yeah,
But-
Revis had almost 500 tackles. So
Yeah, and and that's a pretty limited position of, opportunities. When people literally aren't throwing to your side of the field after you assert yourself as the best corner in the league, it's hard to get tackles. But, he was a surefire tackler.
And I don't know maybe I'm misremembering, like, if something happened to him or something, but I just remember, like, him being the best corner in the league, and, like, the very next year, his career was just over. Like, he couldn't cover, and they cut him, and it was over.
I think he had a couple years there at the end where it just wasn't looking the same. I don't think he was ever... obviously he's a great athlete, but, does he ever pop in your head as, like, oh, man, what a crazy athletic freak?
No.
I just always
No.
thought of him as, like, super smart, always in the right position.
Because he
Like-
wasn't big either.
Yeah, like, he was just kind of a little, kind of shorter, compact little guy. He was
just
kind of
knew where to
stocky
be.
for a corner, to be honest.
Yeah.
He just knew where to be at the right time.
Yeah, he was
making
extremely
questions and stuff.
intelligent.
Hey, some of those receivers just towered over him.
Have you ever
Yeah.
heard him give an interview?
I've heard him talk before. Yeah.
Like, he comes across, like, when he talks about, like if somebody's like, oh, that interception you made against so-and-so, blah, 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 he sounds like a quarterback. Like, when he's talking about how he did it, it's almost like asking Brady or Manning what they saw in the defense. He was like, well, the receiver did this, and when he shifted his hips like that, I knew he was going to give me a little fake and try and go this way. So because I watched the film, I knew that the quarterback was going to pump fake, and so, like, he breaks the whole damn thing down, and you're like, yeah, this guy's intelligent.
we're so
Like-
good.
yeah.
But I think to play cornerback at a really high level in today's NFL, you have to know the other team's playbook. You have to be watching a ton of tape. You have to be doing all those things because you can't get physical with guys anymore.
Right.
Like, you have to be smart, and you have to be putting your time in on tape and doing all those things because you can't just go out there and rely on your athleticism and your physicality anymore.
They'll make you look dumb if you do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know this isn't about Darrell or defense, but did you see what they put in Kyle Murray's contract?
Yes,
The film watching.
Yeah, he has to watch
Yeah, required.
film.
which everybody's making a huge deal about, like they shouldn't be able to do this to him. But I think we're missing the point as a general society. The point is they're scared he's not watching tape.
Right. He should be doing it. That kind of
Like-
money, he better be
and he
doing
can't
it.
play video games or do something else while he watches it. He just has to watch film. He can't just let it run and play video games
See,
in the
that's
So
what
background.
he's obviously being not doing what he's supposed to.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Like-
yes, are the Cardinals coming across overbearing? Yes, they are. But the real story here is that they shouldn't have to do this to a franchise quarterback.
There was a lot more to it too. Like there was a
No,
ton.
there's more. Yeah, there's a lot to it.
Like, because I remember hearing, I think my even Colin Cowherd was going off about it. Like, there's a lot of very interesting parts of that contract. I don't remember all the details, so I'm not going to try and guess. But
Like today, Nick Wright said that this clearly showed us that the Cardinals were a joke of a franchise, and I was like, I mean, okay, if you want to twist it to the fact of you paid a guy $230 million that you think doesn't watch film, maybe that's why they're a joke, but not because they did that. If they're trying to cover their ass because they can't get him to watch film, I don't blame them for wanting to do that. But at the same time, I don't know that I would have paid him then.
so Nick Wright.
I know he's a fucking idiot, but
Like, sometimes, like, I don't know. When you get him away from LeBron or talking about Patrick Mahomes, I think sometimes he can have interesting ideas. But
I think he's a lot more easy to listen to on his podcast.
I've listened
He's
to
not
some
trying
of his,
to.
some of
Sorry.
his stuff. No, it's fine. But, like, he's making fun of the Cardinals. Like, his favorite team up until the past couple of years hasn't accomplished anything in like 60 years. Like, so what the fuck's he talking about? Like,
Yeah, but he has the greatest quarterback to ever live now. So
yeah, I know. In like year 4, he's already just goat status. Patrick Mahomes.
No, after he won the Super Bowl, the very next day he went on national TV and said that Patrick Mahomes is already the greatest quarterback ever.
Well, he looked like an idiot last year because he guaranteed they'd be undefeated. He guaranteed they'd win the Super Bowl, and then he told a bunch of people they were stupid for betting against them and telling them that Patrick Mahomes really wasn't struggling last year when he
Mhm.
sucked for like 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
It was just the defense stepping up and making the offense not look as good and stuff like that. And he's just foolish. And then they lost to Burrow, so it didn't. He just looked like an idiot.
he choked in the second half of the game.
He did.
He threw like 40 yards in the second half.
Yeah, and he gave up a ton of dumb sacks. And
I think this
Threw an
year
interception.
will really tell us a lot about Patrick Mahomes.
Someone came on one of the big shows the other day and said that, like, after that first initial read, Patrick Mahomes struggles. So if you actually break down the tape, if Andy Reid isn't scheming that guy open, or it's not Tyreek Hill who's just faster than everyone that tries to guard him, or, obviously Kelsey's very talented, but if he doesn't get that first read and he has to sit there and break stuff down with the defense, and now people aren't going to be sitting back 30 yards deep waiting for Tyreek Hill, they said he was starting to struggle with it last year, and he's really going to struggle now that the safeties are going to come up.
He super struggles with patience.
Yeah.
But no, every year, I can't remember who it is, one of the famous NFL reporters interviews the coaches and execs from the NFL without them giving their names, and they rank all the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot that came from. And another thing that came up this week, because that was a defensive coordinator who said that about Patrick Mahomes.
It's probably the Bengals.
And another coach from the league bashed Lamar Jackson during their interview about the quarterbacks.
An old Ravens player also bashed Lamar Jackson. Oh, Pollard. I texted
Oh,
was it
yes,
you about it.
yes.
I might have sent it in the group message. I don't remember.
But his original statement wasn't like really awful about Lamar, and Lamar came at him hard.
And then I loved one of Pollard's comments. I loved it. He's like, "Come sit down. I'll teach you how to read a defense on tape," or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, nice."
I mean, what Pollard said, like somebody asked Pollard something on Twitter about why don't they ever put receivers around Lamar Jackson? And Pollard's response was, I don't think elite receivers want to play with Lamar Jackson and that offense with limited passing. And Lamar, like, dude, I don't even know who you are. I had to look you up and then realize you were an NFL player. I didn't even know.
They went back and forth
yeah.
a lot on Twitter after that.
Yeah. Anyway, we need to get back to the Jets. That's how boring they are. We got to talk about everything else. Uncle Doug, you got a 4 left, right?
Yep.
Who you got?
Mark Gastineau.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I looked him up too. I did not put him on my list.
He's
though.
my number 3.
All right. Go right.
I like the pick, but he did not make my list, but I do like him.
My list.
Yeah, he was. He and Rivas, and I won't say the other guy that I considered, in case somebody else has him. But for a short period there, Gastineau was the sack man. He had a defensive player of the year, but it wasn't like AP. It was another one of the services. 5 Pro Bowls, 4 All Pros.
UPI.
Yeah. He finished his career with 107.5 sacks. He was 2 times sack leader. In 81, he had 20 sacks. He was not the sack leader that year. He missed it by half a sack. And then in 84, he had 22 sacks, which was the single season record for the next 17 years, till Strahan got it with Favre. And so yeah, Gastineau was he was pretty good defensive end for a while. My one drawback with Gastineau was it was Gastineau first.
Yeah.
You look back at some of the comments from former teammates and things, and it was Gastineau first.
He liked himself from all the.
He did. He
Stuff I
liked himself a lot.
So here's another guy that they have no tackles for,
Yeah.
but he played in the
I don't
80s.
say that he
I know.
didn't play super long ago.
They do have his sacks on here at 107.5. But when I was looking him up earlier, the reason he didn't make my list, or one of the reasons he didn't make my list, is because they only had him listed at 75 sacks for his career.
That was on I saw that on Wikipedia or something. They had 75, 78 sacks.
I was on Bleacher Report when it said it.
Yeah.
See, I'm not the only
But,
one. I
yeah,
fucked up the
Football
Bengals.
Reference
Everybody made fun of me.
Heading down for 107.5.
Sacks are so confusing.
Yeah, I don't understand. You either have the sacks or you don't.
That's
Right.
what I thought, and I tried to make it to a trivia
Yeah.
question.
And
Way off my
you had 2 seasons of 20.
Yeah, and a
Yeah.
season of 19.
Right. So I mean,
Okay, so
there's 60 right there.
so what happened to him? If he had 60 sacks in 3 years, what happened the rest
Well,
of
there
his
was
career?
the strike was in there. They had a short season, the strike season. I think he only had 6 sacks,
Okay.
and then I think maybe he got hurt.
Oh,
I don't know. He only played 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 107 sacks in 10 years.
And that's over
So-
averages over 10 a year. I mean, that's good.
Yeah. He went from 2 his rookie year to 11 to 20 to 6 to 19, 22, 13, 2, 4, 7. It's over.
Yeah.
Sounds like an injury. He kind of fell off a cliff there.
Go from
But,
19, 22, 13, 4.
yeah, kind of has that slow
Two.
rookie season and then tears it up and then kind of falls off.
Yeah.
Still over 100 sacks in 10 years is still very impressive. Did he make his way to the Hall of Fame or no?
No.
No.
No, he's not a Hall of Famer.
No, he did not. And the other guy I mentioned, may come up on somebody's list, so I won't say anything right now. But otherwise, I'll mention him later.
We have 3 guys, and only one of them's a Hall of Famer so far. So.
Right.
Rivas I believe, will go in the Hall
I don't
of
think
Fame.
he's eligible yet, is he?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just
not.
saying. If I had to guess,
I think
I
he'll
feel
get
like
it.
he should be a shoe-in.
Yeah.
He retired in 17, so he should be eligible this coming year.
This upcoming one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right. Did anybody else have him? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, Ray, you had him as well. Do you have anything to add?
Just said I thought it was impressive that the Jets actually drafted somebody that actually did something.
What was it called, Uncle Doug? Their defensive line, the New York
Sack exchange.
Sack Exchange. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was. I could not remember the. I didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah, they called him the New York Sack Exchange.
Yeah.
And they put up the sacks.
It's what? Yeah. I'm back to my NFL Network days. I used to watch stuff.
All I'm trying to do, but all they're showing right now is training camp and NFL Total Access. I want to see this. I want to see.
Yeah, I watch all the throwback stuff.
Yeah, I
that's where you
know,
start
that's
learning all
what-
that information.
All right. So, does anybody have a 4 left? Ray?
Oh, that's cool.
My number 4 is Curtis Martin.
He is also my number 4.
He is my number 3.
He's my number 3.
He's my number 2.
Oh,
All right.
Unanimous.
Another unanimous.
Write him down, Ray.
We're getting good at these guys.
That's right.
So everybody had Curtis Martin?
Everybody
Yep,
got Curtis.
everybody.
Yep.
Second one.
Curtis Martin was a monster.
He was.
Very underrated monster.
So,
This is weird, though, guys. We already have 4 guys. So we're going to at least have 6. Because I have 2 more guys.
Yeah.
But we have 2 unanimouses already.
I know.
We're
Nice.
probably might have a third unanimous.
I think we're going to have
I
at
think
least
we're
a
gonna have
third
a third one,
unanimous.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think so.
So we're going to have a whole bunch of guys vying for one spot.
You never know. You never know about the unanimous one. You never know.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like the
Race
Jets had
put
a
us
whole
for a
lot
loop
of
before.
Yeah.
picks, you
No
know.
Mean Joe.
He's going on the list anyway. though.
although Curtis Martin, he only had 1 season when he didn't rush for 1,000 yards. That was his very last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
So
monster.
he 14,000 rushing yards, 90 touchdowns. It's insane.
He's even got almost like 2,500 receiving yards.
He was a good back, man. He really
he
was. And if he didn't get hurt later in his career, he might have really been able to add to these totals. Stuck around a couple more years and really, he's at 14,000 yards, so that's nothing bad by any means.
No.
But if I think it was his knee. Didn't he tear up his knee?
I don't quite remember.
It had to have been.
But yeah, he ended up retiring after an injury. So I was thinking that if he wouldn't have done that, he probably would have stuck around a couple more years. Maybe he has 16,000, 17,000 yards. Which I can't remember, how many did we say Walter Payton had? 16,000.
Yeah, 16,000.
Yeah. So I mean, this guy has 14,000
Yeah.
rushing yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a couple seasons away, the way he ran.
And 11 years. It's not like this was like a super
No.
long career. It's not like Frank Gore.
Right.
You know.
No,
Gore.
Frank Gore.
That went on
I
forever.
have very mixed feelings about Frank Gore.
I mean, it's super impressive that Frank Gore's played for like 18
his
seasons.
durability
It's
is
super
off the charts.
Yeah.
These
Oh,
people
yeah.
talking about how he's an all-time great back. Get the fuck out of here. Just because you play like, I don't want to make it to a
Well, it's
Play
the
running back for that long.
Well, it's the closest thing we've seen to Emmitt Smith.
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
you have a really good prime, because Gore did. He had a really good prime, but not elite. And then you stick around forever and ever and ever, and now you're like top 3 all-time in rushing yards.
Right.
That is one thing.
I think
that-
we're underselling Emmett a little bit on that comparison.
I'm not saying they're the exact same player, but
I'm not.
I say it's the closest thing we've seen to him.
Right. I don't have great feelings for old Emmett. It was hard when we went to the Hall of Fame, and there's just pictures all the time. I just walked the other way. I was not looking at that dirty turd.
I mean, yeah.
I
mean,
can't.
I mean, I don't think any of us are Cowboy fans in here by any means. So
Yeah,
I mean, he was a good running back, but I didn't want him.
Yeah. So, in his second to last season,
yeah, I'm literally just looking at this.
he
right
led the
now.
NFL in rushing yards with almost 1,700 and 12 touchdowns, and then the next year he's done.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think he had an
Yeah,
injury.
just dropped off the
Yeah,
edge
had
there.
to. At least he just quit after his injury. He didn't stick around and hurt his
Yeah,
averages and
that's true
stuff.
too. All right. Well, did we say anything about Martin? Did we talk about his accolades and stuff?
He got Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He didn't get Offensive Rookie of the Year, 5-time Pro Bowl, only 1-time All-Pro. It says.
1-time first team, 2-time second team.
Oh, so he's 3-time. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know why they do that on here.
I know.
I don't like
you have
that.
to actually dig in
I
and
have
look
to
for the
scroll down and
17
just go to
was-
each season. I count them up.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Because
Yeah.
basketball didn't do that. It just told us.
Yeah, I told you how many you had.
Yeah.
There's 3 teams in
Yeah.
basketball, so I mean they
Yeah.
could have really screwed us over there.
We should go over 1, 3,
Yeah.
2. Crap.
He's kind of in that similar period that we talked a couple weeks ago. I don't remember who we were talking about, but that was like the heyday of running backs for a while.
Oh, yeah.
You still have the end of you have part of Emmett's prime, part of Barry's prime, Terrell Davis's whole prime, the Bus's whole prime. LT starts during half of his career.
Marshall Fall.
Marshall Falk,
Alexander.
Alexander. Like, there's probably a reason he
There
only
were
had
some
3.
pretty good running backs back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, true story. True story.
Like we just named almost everyone we named pretty much walked into the Hall of Fame except like 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
I don't think Alexander's in.
No.
Was it Lewis for the Ravens?
Jamal.
Jamal,
Yeah.
I mean, he had a 2,000-yard season right in that in the next
Yeah.
of his
Mhm.
career.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it was tough to be all pro.
Like, that was an insane time for running backs.
was.
It really was. We're probably even forgetting a couple guys that were pretty good.
I mean, Curtis Martin had a 1,000-yard season 10 straight years.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
His lowest output during that 10 years was 1152. So he had 1,100 yards 10 straight years, I guess. His rookie season, he went for 1487 and 14 touchdowns. That's his rookie season.
It's crazy. It's he only got All-Pro, what, 2-3 times?
3 times, yeah.
That's insane.
He has 90 touchdowns. I mean, he had a nice career, man.
Respectable.
Really nice career. All right. So is that nobody has a 4 left, correct?
Nope.
Nope.
Does anybody have a 3 left?
I don't.
I don't.
I just have my number 1 left. That's all I got.
Yeah, all I have is number 1.
Yeah.
All I've got is number 1.
No, I don't. I have a 2 left.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Oh.
What'd you say, Ray? Do you have one? Do you have a 2 left?
No, I'm at 1.
You just have 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so
I have a 2 left.
Okay.
All right.
That's 2.
I have. Well, I'm gonna fuck it up. Say it wrong. But I have Kevin Moore
The offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
on my list. See, I can't even spell it to get him to come up. There it is.
Kevin Moore.
I don't think that's how you say it, but
I don't know. I was just saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll say I couldn't
I
tell
know
you
who you're
how.
talking about, but
this is somebody I actually got to watch play. He was, like one of the best guards in football for like most of my life. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler. Well, 3-time first pro first team. I don't know how many second teams he's got. He's in the all 2000s team. Obviously he's an offensive lineman, so I don't have any stats to talk about. He did play 16 seasons.
that's pretty good.
Not all of them with the Jets, though. He played 8 years with the Jets.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, he is. I'll scroll down and see how many All Pros he actually has. A lot. Wait, how the fuck do they do that?
Well, it looks
Oh,
like each we got each press.
Yeah, we have. I was gonna say that's way too like.
That's like 20 all pros.
Yeah. Like,
20
I
all
was
pros and 16 seasons.
like, oh my goodness.
I did find some cool stats about him while you're looking for that.
Go for it.
In his entire career, how long did you say it was?
16 years.
16 years. He only got called for a false start 6 times.
Ooh.
So that's pretty impressive. Only got called for holding 23 times that entire time period.
That's pretty good.
Only 23 holding calls that entire 15, 16 years. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
He's a 7-time All-Pro
So like total.
total.
It's just
all
hard
good.
with linemen because you're like, what do you compare them with? Like, we don't have.
We don't have stats.
Yeah. And
Got pancakes.
yeah, even that, it's still. I think, especially interior linemen, it's hard with guards and centers. Because tackles, you can kind of, how many sacks they've given up and stuff, you can do that. But it's not, it's just hard with linemen. Unless you've actually seen them play. And you can say, oh, he was a beast.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, I definitely remember him. I think when he was already starting to get older by the time I, was really paying attention to the NFL, but I
He
remember
retired.
him playing.
He retired in 09.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody in the room has a number 1 left. I wonder who that could be. We've done this a lot recently, where we all have the same number 1.
I mean, that's good. I mean, I feel like a lot of franchises have an obvious number 1. Not all of them, obviously.
I think most of our episodes we've kind of agreed on it.
But yeah.
I mean, we were 1 off on Mean Joe Green.
Okay, that.
We all agree on Ray Lewis.
We all agreed on Ray Lewis. We
Well,
all agreed on Barry Sanders.
Anthony Munoz.
Munoz. We all agree on
Munoz,
Anthony
yeah.
Munoz.
Walter.
Yeah.
Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've kind of forgot who we've done.
We didn't agree on our Packers.
No.
Oh.
Or the Vikings.
No. Oh, we all agreed on.
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino.
Yep, Dan Marino. Yep.
Who'd we fluctuate on the Vikings? Page and Tarkington? Did we all not put Tarkington down? Or did someone put Alan Page down?
I think someone put Page 1.
Oh.
I think Ray might have put Alan Page at 1, maybe.
To be honest, though, that was really not a bad pick. That's probably one of the
No, either way, been.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I knew
what
one
we
of
did.
us didn't. Cause
Yeah, that's probably one of the franchises where you could debate it. And the Packers one is an interesting debate. Which quarterback you going with there?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, all three quarterback options are pretty legit.
Yeah.
they all
They're all
have the
three,
case.
either already in the Hall of Fame or going to walk in there soon. Like,
They've all got Super Bowls. They've all got MVPs.
Multiple MVPs. Not just one.
it's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, since we're dancing around it, I guess we can go ahead and say that Joe Namath is everybody's number
Namath.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He guaranteed it.
Yep.
Dirty bitch. Robbed us of another ring, Ray.
I know.
Another ring. We were favored by like 18 points or something crazy like that. I don't remember the exact amount, but we
well.
lost.
5-time Pro Bowl, 1-time first team All Pro, Super Bowl champ. Says he's
Super Bowl MVP.
Super Bowl MVP. It also says he has an AFL championship.
Maybe
Well,
that's
back in those goofy
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah.
the Vikings thing. When if you won the AFL that year, because that would have been Super Bowl III, that would have been.
That would have been like
Yeah.
the last
Yeah.
one.
That-
So
Yeah.
He's got a Rookie of the Year. He's got a Comeback Player of the Year. I don't know what he came back from, but
He had really
Had
bad
bad
knees.
knees.
Yeah.
I think that started at Alabama.
Because didn't he actually used to be a really good athlete? And
Yeah.
then he kind of slowly deteriorated because of
when
his
he first
knees.
went to Alabama, he was really good, and then he got hurt down there, and that started the trend.
Because I remember watching stuff and them saying he could actually run at one point in time. Like, he was a good athlete, and it just went away after a while, and he couldn't run at all because his knees were so bad.
Probably the Alabama quarterback's had some of the most success in the NFL.
But I will say this. Joe Namath is on my short list for the most overrated player in NFL history.
You can shit on him quite a bit.
Yeah,
Quite a bit.
He throws
Yeah.
50 more picks than touchdowns, guys.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
173 to 220.
Look at his win-loss record. What is it?
It is 62 and 63
Exactly.
and 4. Yeah,
Yeah.
he has a losing record.
And 50% completions.
He has 5 years of over 20 interceptions.
Yeah.
But the reason he's Joe Cool is because he's cooler than all of us.
Yeah.
We're talking
it.
about him 60 years after he played. That's staying power.
Yeah.
Well, he still, to this day, shows up at games with
Oh,
fur
yeah.
coats on.
And
Oh, yeah.
like
He did-
flirts with reporters
Yeah.
and like
He's on commercials and stuff.
Yeah.
With that, remember at the Hall of Fame, he leads that one show.
Right.
He this one show that they have. He's like they have like a hologram of him. He talks the whole time through it. I'm like,
well, wasn't he
course.
famous back in the day for doing the pantyhose commercial?
Yep.
Dude,
Yeah.
listen to this, though. This is 1967. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He throws for 4,000 yards.
Mm.
He throws for 26 touchdowns.
There it comes. There it goes.
A solid fucking year, man. And that's 4,000 yards in 1967.
Yeah.
That's beast mode. But he also threw for 28 fucking interceptions. Da-ding, da-ding. Yeah.
Man.
He's there because he is an iconic NFL figure.
Yep.
That is why he's number one on the
You
Jets.
guarantee the Super Bowl victory
Yes.
and then back it up.
And
when you're the underdog.
you're like one of the biggest underdogs in NFL history.
Because that Colts team was loaded.
Yes.
They were good.
And
For him to
he
go out-
pulled it off.
Didn't he say it multiple times?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And like, we shit on his stats, and we probably should. They're pretty bad. But he, again, back in the day, he did do things that, like, 4,000 yards back then was no joke. Like,
Bears still haven't done
people
it.
looked at him. Poor Jay Cutler. Come through the clutch.
Why do you feel bad for him?
I don't know.
Feel bad for us Bears fans.
Like, I think
we were talking about his running around. He has a career 140 rushing yards.
Yeah.
we told you those knees went away.
Yeah, they were bad.
In college.
Probably. I mean, back then, think if he got a knee injury in college, his career probably, the running days probably were over.
He's just slinging the ball now.
I want to say he's either one of the first people to ever throw for 4,000 yards, Or he was the first one.
I think he was the first.
Yeah.
I read that somewhere.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, in '67, I can't imagine too many guys have done it.
no,
Yeah.
I feel like he's one of the first, like him or Unitas or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm just not 100% sure, so I didn't want to just throw it out there.
I think I saw that though.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
If he's not the first, he's like up there, like second or third or something.
But, Wade brings it up pretty much every episode, but this episode, I think we all kind of agree on it. Like, his stats are all right, but, like, all right. I mean, this isn't just the most famous guy in Jets history. This is one of the most famous guys in NFL history.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's just famous.
And you're right, Wade. Joe Namath was the first quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to me. Like, 3 years after he threw 4,000 yards, he threw for 1,200.
1,200? What a goof.
I wonder how many people actually know like his stats and stuff, or just because he's such an icon, it overshadows all this stuff.
There's so many players from back in the day, though, that their stats are so underwhelming
Yeah.
compared to nowadays, especially. Like, think like Jerry Rice, like, multiplied, like, Lynn Swann stats, like, times 4 or 5. Like, it just, and, like, Lynn Swann was considered, one of the best receivers in the NFL in the 70s. And Jerry Rice literally has 4 or 5 times as amount of yards as Lynn Swann does. Like,
Well, really, I think Swan's teammate Stallworth probably had better stats.
he did.
Everybody remembers Lynn Swann because of the Super Bowl against the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Yeah.
two phenomenal
Even Stallworth, I bet Rice has at least doubled, if not tripled, his stats. Like
By the
things
way,
have just changed.
This is a different sport, but I did see this the other day, and I thought of the podcast when I saw it. You guys realize if John Stockton would have retired 6 seasons before he did, he would still be the all-time assist leader? If you take off his last 6 seasons, he's
Yeah.
still the all-time assist leader.
Wow.
That is impressive.
Yeah, and now I'm interested, Wade. Now we should look up Stallworth and Rice.
I'm already pulling up John Stallworth to go and look up Rice.
So I haven't even looked up any, obviously, of Jerry Rice's stuff yet, but I know it's up there.
I bet he makes a list.
Yeah.
I'd hope he'd make a list.
Oh, come on. There we go.
Jerry Rice is a 10-time first-team All-Pro.
That's ridiculous.
Mm.
I bet Rice probably gets close.
How many's he got?
8,700 yards. So,
Yeah, and Rice is almost 23. So.
Yeah,
Almost triples him.
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, Stallworth is definitely better than Swan. Just
Yeah, because Swan has like 4,000 career receiving.
that's what I'm
yards.
saying. Like, yeah. Stallworth was pretty impressive for the 70s. 8,700 yards, over 60 touchdowns, like pretty legit stuff. It is funny because kind of like Uncle Doug said, everyone always talks about Swan first.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone does.
But
Oh,
even
yeah.
Steeler fans will tell you he wasn't even the best receiver on his own team.
No, he wasn't.
So I pulled them up side by side, Rice and Swan, and their career numbers.
Oh boy.
It's not even fair.
Yeah, you're looking at 23,000 and 5,000 for
Ooh.
yards.
So it's pretty. Yeah. Pretty spot
You're looking
on.
at 197 touchdowns to 51, so almost quadruple. And catches, you're looking at 1,549 to 336.
Oh, wow.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. The crazy part about that one is Rice probably started within 10 years of Swan retiring. Maybe a little more. Maybe
3 years.
3. They were only 3 years apart from start to finish.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Even worse. I try to give Swan some credit.
Not even as big a
No.
gap as we thought.
I guess I should have thought Swan probably played into the.
Swan retired
80s.
after the 82 season.
Yeah, and Rice started in the 80s.
Yep.
Sometimes you forget, Jerry Rice played like 946 seasons in the NFL.
19,
Oof. He was legit in his 40s when he retired, wasn't he?
I believe he was.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can still play.
Well, I think he got 1,000 yards with the Raiders when he turned 40, I think.
He was 42 in his last season, and the year he turned 40, he had 1,200 yards.
Yeah.
Wow.
With the Raiders, right?
Yep, 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. He had 1,200 yards on 13 yards per catch.
That's not bad.
Wow.
Well, that was Rich Gannon's MVP year, I believe. Or maybe
It's
one off.
2002. So
One of those years, Rich Gannon wins it.
Yeah,
Like 02 or 03 or
yeah.
something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
Rich Gannon. He got it.
He got it that year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was right in there somewhere because Rich Gannon kind of came out of nowhere and got the MVP, and they make they make it to one Super Bowl. They almost make it to another one, and then it's kind of just over for that whole team.
Ooh, Marvin Harrison was the receiving leader for that year.
But no shock there, Ray. No
No.
shock there.
Jerry Rice led the NFL in receiving touchdowns 6 out of 8 seasons at one point.
It's also not very shocking. Jerry Rice is an animal.
But he shouldn't have been able to do this.
No,
Like, he wasn't big. He wasn't fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about like compared to me and you. I mean, for
Right.
NFL players, like he's 6'2", 200 pounds. Not an overly big receiver.
I think he was just good at everything.
He was like, I don't remember what he ran, but I remember looking at it one time going, "That's all he ran."
Right, he wasn't blazing fast.
Yeah,
he
he
wasn't a super athletic guy either. He was.
Yeah, but he was just, I guess, a tactician.
I think he had
you
good
know,
Oh, yeah.
footwork and stuff.
And great hands.
great hands.
I
Yeah.
always hear the story about how during the summers when he was a kid, his dad worked at a brick plant, like down in
Yeah.
Mississippi,
Mhm.
and he carried bricks
It's-
like all summer, and his hands were incredibly strong.
Well, his dad used to make him catch bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So-
they would toss bricks to him, he had to catch them.
Mm.
I've also heard people talk about him and say, like, yeah, he ran like a 4.5 or something, but in a game, he was faster than you thought. Like, he was going to probably outrun you.
Some guys can run fast in their pads.
Yeah.
Some guys can't,
Yeah, some people lose speed when they put the pads on.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, how many videos have you seen of Jerry Rice running away from people? Like, because, I mean, the West Coast offense is a lot of little underneath stuff where he's just catching and running. And he's running away from people.
At the combine, he ran a 4.7.
Oh, geez.
Ooh!
If some receiver ran that today, we'd make fun of him for weeks.
There's probably left tackles that pull that out of their ass nowadays.
Well, the defensive tackle that came out of Georgia, he weighs like 340. He ran a 4.8 this year.
Yes, see, well, yeah. 4.7. Something happened there. Someone's stopwatch is fucked up. Like, I don't know.
4.7.
That is extremely. There's no way he's really that. Like,
I mean,
4.7. That's.
pretty sure I could go out and run a 4.7.
I think you could.
Oh, yeah, I think you can.
Yeah. Like, my days are over, but I bet you can. Ugh, can't even get my leg up.
I bet I could run a 5.7.
Me and Alex were there with an inhaler. We're still running.
All right, guys. We got 6 guys, 3 of which are already on the list.
Yeah, we got 3 that we
Okay.
agreed on.
So unanimous. We had Namath, Martin, and Maynard.
Maynard,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
So we got Rivas, Gastineau, and Mawai.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had what? 1 Mawai, 2 Gastineau, 2 Rivas.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Here we go.
Well, in all fairness, my guy's the only guy in the Hall of Fame.
Ours will be
Ours will be. It's not,
like a year.
yeah.
So, are we just gonna take this to the boards or what? I'm just joking. For now,
We might have
give about 10 minutes and go to the boards.
Wait, we'll get boards time, guys.
Yeah.
By the way, Wade's guy is the only guy that won the first round of the draft. Not that that means anything, but
No.
Well, I do want to mention one other guy while you guys were running this around in your minds. Was Joe Klecko.
oh yeah, I know
He was
that.
on the New York Sack Exchange with Gastineau, and he's the guy that beat him the year when Gastineau had 20 sacks and the league leader had 20 and a half. It was Klecko.
On the same team?
On the same team.
41 sacks of two guys?
Yeah, it's like one of them had 20, the other had 20 and a half. That's why they call them the New York Sack Exchange.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, I know. They're crazy.
That's insane.
In the 80s, right? So
Yep.
so they're not passing as much as they do today.
Yeah, Klecko ended up with 78 sacks.
What happened to him?
Again, I think when the Jets kind of imploded there after a while, but
Imagine having two players combined for like 40, 41 sacks. Just like,
yeah.
Like we were set for a while when we had Mathis and Freeney when we were trying to make Super Bowls a long time. And
What do you think their top sack season combined was?
34,
You think it was that high?
maybe. I don't. Honestly, I don't know.
I'm no Colts expert, but I remember those guys, and I don't remember them having 20 sack seasons.
No. Freeney got mid to high teens early on. Mathis was good for quite a while. Mathis was, I'd say, better for longer than Freeney was, but Freeney kind of hit the ground running there. Maybe like year 2, Freeney was tearing it up. I also think Freeney might have been there before him. I can't quite remember. Been too long.
Freeney's highest sack season was 16.
16. Okay.
He had a 13, 11, 16, 11, 10, 13, 10. That was the only times he hit double digits.
I want to say Mathis had a higher season than that, but I don't know if Freeney was gone or not yet. I think Mathis had a huge season later on when Freeney was gone.
Yeah, Mathis's highest was 19.5.
Yeah. 19 and a half. But I think Freeney's gone at that point. So they probably weren't
that's
even...
2013.
Yeah. So they probably didn't get to 30 together because I don't know what...
All right, so Freeney's gone after 12, so that should be before that. And Mathis shows up in 03. So in 04, it's 16. In 04, he had 10. So he got 26 and a half one year.
Well, it's definitely not 40 or 41.
No.
Yeah, I mean, Mathis's next biggest sack season after that 19 season is 11. So you're looking at, like, both of them getting in the low teens, 10 or 11 and, like, 13. So, like, you're looking in the 20s some of these seasons, and even less than 20 in some of the seasons.
I know who's not making my Mount Rushmore now, Drew.
I'm trying to think of another pair, though, that comes to mind to get a bunch of sacks together.
On the same team as... I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, would one of those guys that had a big sack season with Strahan, like Justin Tuck or Osi Umenyiora?
Well, they were all real young when Strahan was real old then.
Yeah.
Could someone have done it with Lawrence Taylor, maybe?
Maybe Reggie White teamed up. Reggie White with the Eagles. Didn't he play with another good defensive lineman?
Yeah, I mean, they had a really good team at that point, but I don't know if they had another big sack guy.
I don't know if this guy was a great sack artist or if he was just a run blocker or what. But because wasn't there a guy that was really talented, played with them for a couple of years, and he passed away with the Eagles?
Ooh, that does sound familiar.
Like he was like really good. I just can't remember the dude's name.
Not sure. What about the short span that JJ and Jadeveon Clowney played together?
Clowney never got past like 7 sacks. Like,
Really?
I think Clowney's highest sack season was just like last year, and it was like 8 or 9.
Oh, I didn't know it was that low.
Well, the year that Reggie White had 21 sacks for the Eagles, the next most sacks on his team was 6.
So they're in about the same territory as Freeney and now I'm just thinking about that guy that passed away for the Eagles that played with Reggie White. I can't think of his name. I bet we're forgetting someone like big though.
Trying to think of good.
Oh,
defense.
the old Vikings teams that we talked about with like 900
Oh,
sack
yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Alan Page and like Jim Marshall. I guarantee they had to have had
was
some
it
big
Carl
seasons.
Eller?
Yeah, I mean any of the combination of the guys that all played together. I know Marshall and Page played the same time, right? Did the one you just say play with him too?
I think he did. I think Carl Eller did.
Maybe. And then was it that Dolman was later or something like
Yeah,
that?
Dolman was later on.
Yeah.
What's Marshall's first name?
Jim,
Jim.
I believe.
Yeah, I think it's Jim Marshall.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
All right, let's see here. Yeah. Marshall played a long time. That's why he has a lot of sacks. His highest, he doesn't have a lot of big seasons. Let's see here, though. Let's see what their biggest season is together. 60 to 79. Yeah, I think their biggest season is going to be like 24, 25.
About the same territory.
You talking about Clyde Simmons?
I think it's
Clyde Simmons
Reggie
played.
White and Clyde Simmons for the
He
Eagles?
played the other end for a while with him, yeah.
I mean, it might be. I just Googled about trying to figure out who this guy was, and I got Willie Jerome Brown.
He did die, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was an American football defensive tackle. Died at 27 years old, yeah, back in 92.
We're failing to find somebody that comes even close to 40 sacks.
Yeah.
No, we're I think that's over. Honestly, I can't think of anybody.
Who was the Keller? What's his first name?
I don't know.
Oh, Carl Eller.
Carl Eller, yeah, sorry.
My bad. I'm yawning.
There's gotta be like something obvious we're forgetting. Like what about a couple? No.
This is probably really good fucking podcast right here.
Yeah. Us Googling stuff and not talking about it out loud.
Yeah.
And we're kind of.
By the way, can we just write down Joe Rivas, do trivia, or what?
So I'm saying, I don't just write down
Wow.
Rivas.
Sounds like we've been making a pretty good case for Gastineau.
Yeah, kind of. Him and his teammate. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Jets. Yeah. Yep.
Weakness in the back of our minds. Just
Here-
try to
here's-
see if we
here's
can
my-
figure
here-
something out.
Here's my question. I mean, I realize we're talking about different franchises here, but would this be the lowest amount of sacks of any pass rusher we put on? Like, all these guys we talk about are like 140, 130.
Yeah,
Like,
you mean just like ends? Or just
yeah. I mean,
linemen?
we've had defensive tackles that don't have
Right,
that many.
okay.
That don't have that many.
Ends probably.
Yeah.
What other defensive ends have we put on?
Well, we had the Vikings guys we just talked about.
Right.
Vikings
We only
guys,
put the
eh?
defensive tackle though, didn't we?
Yeah,
We didn't put any
Page
defensive
is a
ends.
defensive tackle in the.
Yeah.
I remember who did we put?
Jason Taylor from the Dolphins.
We put
Ah,
Jason
oh,
Taylor.
yeah.
Yeah, we put
Yeah.
Jason Taylor on.
He's got like
Yeah.
140 or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
next week we're going to talk about
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes.
next week we're going to talk about one hell of a sack artist. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I wanted to mention Gastineau and Klecko, but I'm okay with Rivas.
All right.
All
Works
right,
for me.
I don't know about all that.
Oh. And Ray has no comment. So.
Looks like there was a mutiny on the ship there.
Sorry, I mean, I like Gastineau and Klecko, but I also like Darrell Rivas. Those are my three that I put at the end.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is we'll just give Alex the board and he's got to vote on Rivas or Gastineau.
Fuck you, my guy's still on here. And
Trust me, from experience, the guy that has no other help always loses. You're gonna lose.
That's true.
I got screwed over.
You know,
That's Gale Sayers.
I'll be honest.
Ray Nitschke.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you though. I really am surprised that I'm the only one.
I felt that a couple times myself.
Like every list I looked at, he was on.
John Randall still haunts my dreams. I'm still over here thinking about fucking John Randall.
Paul Krause, all-time interception.
I voted with you, Wade. I voted with you.
It's all because I threatened Ray.
Yeah, it was.
Ray.
Yeah.
Somehow I'm your neighbor. I'll come back and kick your ass or something.
I mean, if we ask Jimmy, he probably feels like that every week.
Well, I will say, I don't know if this will make you feel any better or not, Ray or Wade, but Drew and I were just at the Hall of Fame, and we saw several pictures of Paul Krause. We did not see any pictures of John Randall. I still like John Randall, but we did see pictures.
And they showed videos of him actually playing. He actually
we saw
actually
pictures
looked
of
athletic
Krause.
interceptions and stuff. They weren't.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't insulting his interceptions. I didn't know. I didn't watch any video of him. It is,
We saw the all-time interceptions thing like on this video board, and we cleared it. So let's see what it looks like. And
that's good.
some of them weren't.
Well,
Poor John Randall.
all right. Well, here's what I'll say. All right. I'm okay with going with Darrelle Revis if we can admit the only reason Mawai is not getting any votes is because he's an offensive lineman.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, Joe Rivas was the face of the Jets for a long time.
And I think you made a good point when you said he will. I think he will be going into the Hall of Fame.
He's coming up on his first
Most
year.
definitely. Yeah.
So, whereas Gastineau and Klecko have had years and they haven't made it yet. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I really thought that Revis and Mawai would have played together, but they missed each other by about 2 seasons.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ray, are you giving in as well?
Yeah, it's the Jets. Who cares?
That's a fair assessment. We are an hour in, so. All right, Darrelle Revis. So, our 4 Jets for our Mount Rushmore are as follows. Unanimous, Joe Namath. Ray.
What is that?
Lift the piece of paper up so Alex can read
Okay.
it, please.
Rivas, and then
Yeah.
we have Maynard.
Maynard.
Unanimous, Curtis Martin. I don't know.
And unanimous Don Maynard.
And
Unanimous, Don
Maynard.
Maynard. And Darrelle Revis.
Yeah.
That's our list,
Yeah,
right?
that's ours.
There you go. Right on, buddy.
Yeah, that is not my list. I missed a guy.
Well, it's your list now.
Sorry.
You
I've
can
fucked
see
up like 4 weeks in a row.
But we did only have 6 guys again this week.
Yeah.
We were narrow again.
I wasn't sure who was coming out with the Jets, to be honest.
And I think next week will be more narrow.
I think so, too.
Heck, yeah.
I think there's only 5 choices next week. And if you pick outside that list,
We're going to shut you down.
but
Imagine if
anyway.
we all have the same 4. That would be pretty cool.
That would
That
be
would-
pretty
that would-
cool.
Short episode, but it'd be cool.
No, then we'll talk about the downfall.
Yeah. Nobody even knows what team we're talking about yet. But anyway, so that will end the Jets portion of this episode and move us into trivia.
Well, the sack master next week's either going to be Vince Wilfork or Bruce Smith. You guys take your votes.
All right. And
Have a marker, Ray.
Yep.
I need one as well. Usually there's one over here.
Ready?
Yep.
Come on, Jerry Rice. Got to catch those.
More like Jeremy Macklin over there. Eagles low blow.
Hey, if you can touch it, you can catch it.
Yeah, guys that never got hit said that.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
We're all ready.
Yep.
We're ready.
All right.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
What 2 players are tied for the most fumbles in a season? And this happened in back-to-back years.
2 players?
Yep.
We need both of them.
Yep.
Gosh, I don't know.
I don't either. Damn.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wrote one down because I remember him fumbling a lot for a couple seasons, but now I'm like, well, who was right around him that fumbled a lot too?
Yeah, I know. That's why I guessed one, but I can't think of the other.
I like the question though, Drew. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
It's interesting that it was back-to-back years. That
Indeed. Indeed. All right, I got an answer.
I got an answer.
Yeah, let's go.
all right, let's see him.
I said Warner and Carr.
Okay.
I said Winston and Newton.
Oh, okay.
I just came up with Mark Sanchez.
Barney Kosar and Ken O'Brien.
It was Dante Culpepper and Kerry Collins.
I almost wrote Kerry Collins down at one point.
They each
No,
had
but
23, and then David Carr had
23.
21.
well, I didn't know how often Carr fumbled, but I remember he got sacked like 100 times a year. So I was like, he probably was fumbling some. And then Warner had those seasons there where he couldn't hold on to the ball. Yeah.
I forgot about that. I tried to forget about that.
Yeah. Well, I think his thumb problems followed him. I think a little until he started wearing that glove, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had to grip the ball.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think his thumb even works well today, like in retirement. I think his thumb's messed up.
Well, I have mine ready this week.
Ooh.
All right.
All right. Mine is a current question. In the past 8 NFL seasons, what team during that time span has given up the most points in the past 8 years combined?
That's an interesting question, Wade. I don't know the answer to it, but it's an interesting question.
I'm just thinking of a team with a shitty defense and write it down.
Yeah, fair enough.
Once I heard this and I thought about it, I was like, I can see it.
I got an answer.
I got an answer.
Got any ideas there, Drew?
I got a couple. I'm just thinking, who do I want to go with? 'Cause I think it's some crappy teams, but their defenses aren't.
You want to go with
awful.
the Bears?
No, it's not the Bears. Let's go with.
It could be.
By the way, speaking of
better not be.
speaking of defense, did you Colts fans see today that your boy changed his name?
Darius Leonard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he
All the tackles people don't give a fuck what to call him.
what he change it?
Shaquille.
Yeah.
Shaquille.
Shaquille Leonard.
I don't care.
Yeah, whatever.
They made a post that said, "Call me Shaquille now." I gotta guess.
All right. What about the answers?
Lions.
I said Lions.
Said Dolphins.
Lions as well.
It is the Raiders.
Mm.
Oh.
The Raiders.
Okay.
Okay.
See, I thought about the Lions, but they've had okay defenses.
Like when I heard it, like you always think of like the Lions or like the Browns or like the Jets, like someone who's sucked for a long time. But like if you sit there and think about it, like the Raiders haven't, even when they were good like 6-7 years ago with Derek Carr the first time they were good, their defense sucked.
Yeah,
Even at Khalil Mack, they
And they have to play against the Chiefs and the Chargers twice a
And the
year.
Broncos.
And the Broncos, they all put up points.
Yeah, it's true.
their
Yeah.
defense sucked last year when they made the playoffs. Like their defense just sucks.
You or me, Ray?
I'll go ahead and pop one off.
And we signed their defensive coordinator. Yay.
All right. Which one first? Okay. Which wide receiver drafted in the second round caught the most TDs in NFL?
It's me.
Oh.
Can you repeat that, please?
Which wide receiver drafted in the second round caught the most TDs in the NFL?
So the second round pick that's caught the most TDs.
Yep, a wide receiver who's got drafted in the second round caught the most TDs.
I just don't know who's
I gotta
the
try to
guy
think
from
of a
the second
receiver in the
round.
second round.
I got a choice.
Okay, let me think
I'm
here.
not saying it's right, but I have a choice.
I'm just trying to think of someone drafted in the second round.
Okay.
I didn't like how Dad wrote that down so quickly.
Me either. He's gonna fucking catch me. That's why I don't like it.
All right, I got to guess. All right. I don't even know if he got drafted in the second
You'll
round.
understand when you see my answer why I wrote it down so quickly.
All right.
I'm hoping we have the same answer.
Me too.
I'm not saying it's right.
I don't care. I got mine.
I don't have mine. Sorry.
Oh.
Work's blowing my phone up, and I was concentrating on my phone instead of answering. Sorry.
Priorities, Alex. Get it together.
Yeah, I didn't answer the call, so
Trivia or helping people?
You're trying.
I don't even know. All right, I got an answer written down.
All right. Everybody got one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I said Reverend Ike, Isaac Bruce.
I said Isaac Bruce.
Damn. I put Jerry Rice.
I put Marshall.
Damn St. Louis Rams fans. Yes. The correct answer is Isaac Bruce with,
Yes, Reverend Ike.
This is my favorite player.
91. He had 91.
Let's go. Did you?
I need a pen.
I knew when he wrote it down that quick. I said, it's got to be Reverend Ike. There's no way. It's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was borderline. I didn't know.
Second round out of Memphis.
Yeah, I couldn't have told you what round he was drafted. No clue. I didn't even know what round Jerry Rice was drafted in. That was a trick question, like the all-time leader. Write it down.
The whole time.
He was drafted in the second round.
Okay. All right, here's mine.
Okay.
Originally, the Jets were the New York Titans. I believe we had that question last week or something. They became the Jets in 1963 to change with the changing times and being like the space age and all that stuff.
Oh boy. I'm not gonna lie. I
and
kind of like
because
the
they were-
Titans better.
They're close to LaGuardia Airport, too. So they also changed colors to green and white. What were the original colors?
Oh,
I just thought they were always green and white.
me too.
Wade went to the board pretty quick.
He did.
My tying him may be short-lived.
I'm second guessing now. Don't worry.
We'll see.
I'm looking for two colors, by the way.
I got to guess.
I gotta guess.
I got mine.
I'm good.
Reveal.
I put red and gray.
I put green and yellow.
Put blue and yellow.
Red and blue.
It is blue and gold. Yellow will work. Yeah. Good job, Wade.
Gosh dang. I had to redeem myself from that goddamn Isaac Bruce.
Hey now.
I do like Isaac Bruce, though.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's my guy.
Just watched a little short documentary on the greatest show on turf yesterday.
Drew and I just watched one on Marshall Falk. So
Yeah, watch this football live.
while we were in Canton. The other Canton.
Yeah. All right. It's me, right?
Yeah.
All right. So last week I mentioned this question, but I don't think I actually said the answer, so I'm going to ask it.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Last week I said that the same team has the most wins in 3 straight decades, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Which team?
So who has the most wins in those 3 decades?
Yep. 3 straight decades they had the most wins. I mean, obviously they have it combined, but they also have it separately in all 3 decades.
All right, I got to guess.
I noticed you didn't answer that last week. I should have looked it up. But I have an answer.
Is that everybody? Everybody
Yeah.
got one?
Yep.
Mhm.
Wade?
Yeah, I got one.
All right, what you
I
got?
said Cowboys.
I also said Cowboys.
Green Bay.
Steelers.
The answer is the Raiders.
I can see that.
I see that.
Yeah.
They were dominant in this, especially this was the 70s and 80s.
Well, the 70s, they were probably in the AFC they definitely were, but I was going to say they were probably the biggest rival to the 70s Steelers.
Yeah.
I think they won Super Bowls in the 70s and 80s. I think.
They did. Yeah, they won 3 Super Bowls combined in those decades.
Good question.
I think the 90s is what surprised me more than anything.
Yeah.
you would think it'd be the Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought Steelers obviously got the 70s. I can't remember how good they were in the 80s. And then the 90s, they were contending for Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I had it.
Yep. So, all right. Well, after this week's tallies, the standings are as follows. Still in first place is Wade with 11. And second place is Uncle Doug with 9.
I'm 2 behind you.
Yes.
Right.
I didn't correct you earlier because I was playing on my phone. Sorry. And third place is Drew with 6.
That's right. Another point, baby.
And Alex and Ray have decided to concede this. Fuck it. We're not even going to talk about it.
See, I told you it's nice at the resort, bro.
Didn't one of the guests say we should tally all the guest votes?
Robert did, yeah.
Because we've been at like 3 or 4 guest points.
Well,
Not Bob.
Robert got 1.
Biggie
got 2.
Yeah.
Tyler didn't do any.
No.
I can't remember what the fuck Bob did.
I don't remember about Brock either. Did Brock get one or
No,
not?
Brock didn't get one.
Cameron didn't get any.
Cam didn't get any.
Okay.
So, like, it's not, depending on what Bob did, the guests are either tied with us or beating us.
I was trying to remember if Bob got one with Uncle Doug.
I don't remember if he did.
I think Bob did.
I think so too.
I think Bob got one right. Yeah.
Right, so the
Because
guests
he and
are,
I were sitting here and we fist bumped. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
so
he got
the
one right.
the guests are beating Ray and I.
That's gonna be me in baseball,
Well,
Alex. It'll be
in
all
your
right.
defense, though, a lot of times we ask questions about the team we're talking about, and they are the experts on those teams, so they ought to know some of those questions.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Right. Well, we appreciate you tuning in for Ray and I to get laughed at, and the New York Jets, who we kind of also laughed at. And we would appreciate you tuning in next week for the Buffalo Bills episode. We actually know who we're doing next week.
See, it's not Vince Wilfork.
Yeah. And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.